Venice is a unique and incredibly popular tourist destination which attracts millions of people from around the world with its beautiful architecture and art and its unique location. Venice is a city made up of over 100 man-made islands in a lagoon, and it's a miracle that such a beautiful city on the water has lasted so long throughout wars, plagues, and through time. Venice has a unique history that not many people know. In the 5th century, invaded by the barbarians, the Roman Empire was falling, and the northern Adriatic Sea was a refuge for those fleeing Attila the Hun and barbarians. With little usable land for farming, a group of lagoon dwellers decided to come together and band for mutual protection. In the early days of Venice, they drove wooden pilings into the marsh, and instead of rotting, the waterlogged wood petrified, creating a solid foundation. The city's location in the lagoon would prove to be an effective means of defense. While the rest of the world was trying to defend their cities with stone and wood, the Venetians were safe behind their 1-mile megamoat. A town slowly rose and became a city. Although for the first couple hundred years, Venice was part of the Byzantine Empire, they were incredibly autonomous. In the 9th century, the Byzantine Empire and the Franks recognized the Venetian Republic as an independent state. In 828, 2 Venetian merchants went on a heist and sailed to the city of Alexandria and took the body of Saint Mark the Evangelist. It is said that they hid the body in a bag of pork and cabbage and returned to Venice. Saint Mark soon became the Saint of Venice, and the winged lion became the symbol for Venice. Venice was a republic, Republico, or the thing of the people. This was unique because at the time there were many feudal and corrupt governments in Europe. Venice had a doge who acted as a duke, but once again, unlike all of Europe, the doge or the duke was elected. Along with the doge, there was a tribune that oversaw the duke and had the veto power. The tribune was assisted by an assembly of nobles and a small council to help with legislation and administration. The government was well balanced with a monarchical figure, an oligarchy, as well as democracy, resulting in stability and social harmony. The government had nearly zero problems for a whole century. This is where their nickname, La Serenissima, or the most serene, comes from. The Venetian government also governed all aspects of maritime trade. The council was run by the merchants who worked together to create peace, harmony, and efficiency. They even had a state treasury which would fund the building of ships and would even provide loans for people. Situated in northern Italy off of the Adriatic Sea, proved to be an incredibly important trade hub and was a good geopolitical location. Venice was able to trade with mainland Europe as well as eastern states like the Byzantines and others. Venice became known and wealthy by trading salt, but as the state grew they started trading Italian grain and wine to the Byzantines, in return received spices and silk from the east. One of the reasons the Venetians were so good at trading was because they traded with everyone, like Muslim sultans in Egypt and other Muslim states. The Venetians slowly gained power and land and included ports along the Adriatic coastline. To rid the pirates in the Mediterranean, the Venetians built a navy and used the Adriatic as a runway for their navy. By the 13th century, the relationship between the Byzantines and the Venetian merchants had become unstable. At the peak of the tensions, the Pope called a crusade. This was the Fourth Crusade. The Crusaders had no money and ships, so the Venetian Doge agreed to let the Crusaders take their ships if they sacked the city of Constantinople. The Crusaders looted the city and split the loot with the Venetians. The most famous prize that the Venetians received was the 4 bronze horses that still stand on St. Mark's Basilica. Most importantly, the Venetians acquired islands in the Aegean Sea and the island of Crete, strengthening their trade routes. Genoa, a similar naval and trading state to that of the Venetians and located in the Ligurian Sea on the north side of Italy, got into a series of wars with the Venetians. After 4 wars, the Genoese and Venetians signed peace terms, and although the peace terms heavily favored Genoa, the Venetians bounced back and Genoa was conquered by the French in 1396. In the next couple of centuries, Venice saw its highs and lows. From the Renaissance, art and architecture flourished in the city, but with the demand in the Atlantic trade, the Venetians could not keep up. In 1797, Napoleon came to Venice to take over the city, and with little to no defense and a weak government, Venice surrendered to Napoleon. After becoming Austrian for a short while, Venice became a part of Italy as we now know today. It is crazy to think that just a century ago, the beautiful and powerful city that would become Venice was just a swamp. I leave you on this note. The most miraculous city of Venice, rich in gold but richer in fame, strong in power but stronger in virtue, built on solid marble and harmony of its citizens.